for at least 5 to 10 minutes, or long enough to look like you're no longer using the equipment. I'm still on that, I'm still using that. Hey! I got like 4, 5, 6, 7 more on there. Good enough.
Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 289. It is the fourth day of the week, aka the Buster Cannon workout. I am feeling pretty good right now, on the way to the gym right now. Very happy about that. But with that being said, on to the main subject matter for today. The unwritten rules of the gym. I just wanted to talk about this particularly because this was in my thought processes of doing videos about the gym that I probably won't be able to do in the future. If it was something that I was going to talk about that was something else entirely, I would have talked about homunculus and what that was and all that other stuff. Mostly that I don't know much about it, honestly. But that's a whole other subject for a whole other day. For this one, we will discuss the unwritten rules at the gym, just things that happen at the gym that we kind of just are known, you know, things like that. Generally speaking, I feel like this is such a beginner topic when it comes to the gym, but I wanted to talk about it because it's just funny to me that there are certain things that are quite accepted amongst people who go to the gym that are kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it, you know, like that's it. Like once you see one example of it, most people understand it afterwards, and it's like a unspoken thing, you know. Like the biggest example I can give is the water bottle, you know, the saving the spot with the water bottle. Now, of course, this can lead to problems, but we can get to that in a bit. But I'll say that that is like the one thing that's universal across all gyms for the most part, depending as well. But a lot of gyms, you see the water bottle, most likely it can't be one of these. It has to be an actual like a water container thing. You understand, hey, this is being used by somebody right now, you know, or a bag, one of the two. So you understand that, but we'll get into that and a bunch of others and a few others as well, and some of the negatives of certain things like that when we get on the inside. All right, so started this day off with lying leg curls, which are pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter here at hand. Unwritten rules of the gym. So the main reason why I wanted to talk about this was, well, I already explained that, but let's get into some of these unwritten rules. First and foremost, we have the major one, of course, the water bottles or bag at the equipment. I think that is the one that goes really truly unsaid. Everybody understands that, hey, this is being used. Now, there is a downside with that, in which you have the abandoned water bottle that might be there, and then you have to wait around and then see if anybody uses it. And if they aren't there within 3 minutes, then you're like, all right, but fuck it, I'm taking this. So that's the one issue about that happens. Another one is if somebody's using equipment, you politely ask to work in, but of course that can go either way. Sometimes it can be all right. Sometimes it's not that great of a thing. It all just truly depends. Now, one that isn't necessarily unwritten, but is actually written technically, but it's 50-50 depending on who does it, is the cleaning of the machines. I find it personally, I would do it. The only issue with the cleaning machines, they got rid of the paper towels with the wiper thing. Now they have pre-moistened paper towels, and for some reason people decide to get 5 to 7 of them at once. Also, the dispenser allows that, which makes it so that even if I want to do it, there's just none there sometimes. So that just kind of sucks. And that's the one part about that in general that sucks, is that even though you'd like to clean it, sometimes it's not even available, regardless of which way they have it or not. Another one that is supposed to be a rule, but 50 people follow it, is putting your weights back. Now, I feel like there are certain places where this would be applicable, and also certain weight stacks that make sense. Like, for example, if I have a dumbbell wherever I'm at, I would try to just put that back, or if I have any weights on a barbell, of course I'd put it back. I think the only real place that it would make sense for even anybody to leave a weight there would be around the squat rack, just because there are pegs there, or sometimes the pegs are full. that makes sense. But then that's really it. I think most of the time it's a 50-50 depending on who plays what, who does what. I think the only other machine that people kind of leave their 45s on are the leg press. That's really it, unless it's a fuck ton, but they usually leave like 1 or 2 on there. That's just normal. But I think that most people will and do put away their weights away, but I don't think everybody does. And that should be punishable by death. I think that one of the ones that doesn't go over well, depending on who you are and what's going on, is people that are dressed appropriately. I'm not going to talk about like, you know, the like skimpy outfits or something like that, or even people that are wearing like construction work or anything, or construction boots or something like along those lines, because that's whatever. I'm talking about people who have actually been in open-toed shoes and shit like that. That is a no-no. I don't think it's just dangerous whenever I see that. It's like, come on, bro. Like, I get it. Like, shoes aren't as protective, but still, come on. What are you doing? Why are you in sandals, like, at all? Like, open-toed sandals, too. Like, slides, sure, if you're going to go to the basketball play area, but bro, you got toes out in the gym? Are you okay? Yo, how many sets you got left? Cool. And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Got everything in, thankfully. I'm not doing the wrist rollers anymore, mostly because I don't feel like bringing that thing to the gym, 1 and 2. I'm doing enough forearm exercises on other days that I don't necessarily need it. So, yeah. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand here. Unwritten rules at the gym, or just generally things that happen at the gym that people kind of come to have understood. So the main reason why I wanted to talk about this is because, like I said before, I am slowly phasing out the gym, so might as well get some of these subjects that are kind of would be stupid to talk about if I had a home gym out of here. So I wanted to talk about this. And also as well, I mean, just generally speaking, there are certain things that always happen no matter what. Hell, I saved a few spots today doing the leaving my backpack X, Y, and Z spot or anything like that. I did that today a lot. I actually do it quite frequently. But that is something that happens to happen. I will say that I saw somebody leaving their phone like on a machine, which was interesting because I was like, okay, I understand the water bottle, but leaving the phone is insane to me, mostly because when you leave the phone, that's just like, you're not begging for somebody to steal it, but more so along the lines of, I feel like it's just a curious spot because then you could forget it, and I feel like that happens a lot more than anything else. Then you have to deal with that whole issue, which has happened to me before in the past. So I feel like it happens to a lot of people. So that's why I'm like, oh, that's pretty crazy to do that. Now, I understand why people do it, because it's maybe the only thing they bring with them, but still, pretty insane. But I've probably already talked about that and a few others. I just wanted to talk about this because this type of stuff is interesting, that it is like a shared commonality between people. You don't really necessarily have to say anything about it, per se. Most people kind of inherently understand it, and it's interesting that there are places like this, and in the world, really, where there are just certain rules or certain things that you inherently get. Another place is a mosh pit. You know, there are rules in the mosh pit inherently, and those who don't follow it usually get their ass whooped. You know, it's kind of like that, but in a different way. Obviously, that's a little bit of chaos, but it's controlled chaos, and the gym isn't necessarily controlled chaos, but more so along the lines of, it is a place where everybody is there with the same goal in mind, and that is physical embetterment for the most part. So that is something that most people that are there can agree on. So it's just fun to see or talk about the different rule sets that people have that amongst themselves that aren't necessarily written down anywhere. So it's just interesting. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one is more of a random one, but an interesting one nonetheless. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there. Stay cool, even though it's kind of cold today. It's whatever. Stay cool out there. I will see you in the next one, and take care. Peace.